Guys, welcome to another interesting segment on Home Truth Nigeria. I woke up this beautiful morning and I could feel, the summer breeze and wind. And it dawned on me that, you know, summer is fast approaching. And there is something, peculiar about summer with most Western ladies. And this is the period which, they travel in numbers to Nigeria to get married. And that's why today I would like to, talk about the topic, the right way to marry a Nigerian man. No capping, guys. A lot of Western ladies, both of you, most of you, not all, most of you, you come during the summer to marry Nigerian men. There's a period where you take time off from your holiday and you come and make a very quick marriage to your Nigerian lover. uh these women actually, they break records. What they do is they fly into Nigeria, they get married, and the next day or two, like after a few days, they fly back to their country. In 2015 or 14, I'm not so sure, I met one lady who flew into Nigeria. I was flying into Nigeria, and she sat next to me, and we started talking, and she told me she was coming to get married to her Nigerian lover, and I was like, okay. And she has to get married in one of the weekdays, and then she has to be in Detroit in the next few days, within 2 days apart. And I was like, okay. I just asked her, have you met this guy before? She was like, no, we've not met, but we're so much in love and all of this. And this is something most of you guys, do. And I guess some of you are very familiar with the picture shown on the screen, the Federal Marriage Registry, Ministry of Interior, Ikoyi, Lagos. This is where the this is where the scamming, this is where the final stage of the scamming, takes place. And not for all of you. Some of you actually marry, for all the right reasons in this place, but most of you marry for all the wrong reasons in this, place. Um, so this is where, guys, they bring their lovers from the western part of the world, and they get married to them. They basically make them, marry them. And this is not something only peculiar with men. It's also something most Nigerian ladies also do. They attract or find a way to draw older citizens, Western men who fly all the way to Nigeria to to get married to younger Nigerian women. Now, guys, out of the goodness of my heart, and as a very good and concerned citizen of Nigeria, and one of the best Nigerian you'd ever meet. I was joking, just kidding. I wish to tell you guys the right steps or the best way to marry a Nigerian man or even a Nigerian lady, in case you're a Western man, you're listening to my video. Now, before I do that, I'd like you guys to understand that marriage for we Nigerians is seen as a lifelong commitment. So before you think of marrying a Nigerian, consider marriage to be a lifelong commitment. You know, do not treat it as something you just do because you just want to do it or everyone is doing it. Marriage is very, very important for Nigerians. And for we Nigerians, we consider when we get married, we consider it to be a lifelong commitment. And that's why even when there are troubles and everything in marriages in Nigeria, families always come together to try to settle this problem because we view marriage as something very sacred and a lifelong commitment. And that is why we have a low divorce rate as compared to the Western world. So before you think of marrying a Nigerian, always put that in your mind. Think like a Nigerian. The Nigerian man sees marriage as a lifelong commitment, and they use this factor into selecting a partner, selecting the wrong partner, because it is very, very important. Now, if you see it or reason or think like a Nigerian, you would basically refuse every quick proposal. One thing that could save you a great deal is to turn down every quick proposal. Some of you have been in a situation where, after speaking to this Nigerian guy for a few weeks or months, the moment you visit him in Nigeria, without your knowledge, this individual engages you. You're basically flying back to your country, engage, just meeting this individual for the very first time. The very first time you are going back to your country, engage. And this, in most cases, it turns out to be one of the worst mistakes most of you, you've ever, made. Now, listen, the tricks is this: these guys, they believe marriage is not serious and sacred. To you ladies in the Western world, they look at the statistics of your divorce. They know most of you coming to marry them, you're divorcees, you've been divorced one, two, three times. So you're not important to them. A lady who has been divorced one, two times in Nigeria is not considered serious. So, I mean, you're just a means to an end. So, what they do basically is that they get you under the wraps by telling you all the important things you need to know to make you feel good and important. And then they propose to you. And then when they propose to you, you get into Nigeria. When you get into Nigeria, they take you to a courthouse, and one way or the other, some of you, surprisingly, you go to the courthouse and they try to make you guys wed without your knowledge. And they do these things so that by the time you're going back into your country, they would push you to file for their visa so they could come join you in your country. Now, for those of you who have been proposed to and you engaged, when I mean engage, I'm not talking about, dating online and then you're getting engaged to somebody you've not even seen before. I'm not talking about, just meeting a guy for the very first time and the next thing your hands are heavy because he has engaged you. I'm basically talking about couples who have been dating for quite a while. You've seen yourself in few situations, and both of you have agreed. You've agreed, basically, you know to uh to get married, to date. Now, I need to make you ladies understand something. Nigerian men do not just meet Nigerian women and propose to them online. They never do that. There's no Nigerian man who will meet a Nigerian woman without meeting this person physically and is proposing to her online. Neither will the Nigerian man meet the Nigerian lady he's been talking to for a very long time online, and then the lady comes on their first visit, is proposing to this lady. In all sincerity, any Nigerian man who does this would be treated with a huge slap. The person will get a drums of slap, and that is why it's important for you ladies to always take your time, because our Nigerian women, when a Nigerian man proposes to a Nigerian woman and she's not sure, she always makes two statements: I will think about it, or I will pray about it. Don't just drop your finger out, and then they put a ring in their hands and like, okay, it's what it is and stuff. No, it doesn't work like this. Now, if it doesn't work like this in our society, why should you be different? Why should you be different? So, for those of you that have agreed to marry, you've you've both been dating for quite a while. You've seen or you've met yourself and you've understood yourself, and both of you as individuals, you've agreed to, you know settle down and start a family or get married. Here are few steps I would like to tell you. Now, the first thing I want to tell you as the lady is, please visit Nigeria to plan your wedding. Now, because of the difficulties in obtaining visa, it might be difficult for your Nigerian partner to come to your country to do the wedding and all of this, except both of you are living in the same country. Now, be that as it may, it is always easier for you to fly into Nigeria and fly out because you don't have so much visa restriction like we do. So I always say to most ladies who want to go back home in Nigeria to get married, I always tell them, please be involved in planning your wedding. Go to Nigeria, even if it's a week's trip, go there, look into the budget, discuss with your partner, your husband to be, and also plan the wedding. Plan it according to your budget. As they say, cut your coat according to your cloth. Plan your budget, and uh, you know, you have this idea. While you're going back to your country as you're planning your wedding. When you go back, okay, you both of you may have to like, okay, save up some money, and the next thing you do is you you know, visit Nigeria again. The next step is to visit Nigeria again. I know some of you would be like, hell no, it's expensive to do so. So is divorce and other things that could come as a result of heartbreak. So, therefore, to finalize everything before you start walking down the aisle, try to make sure that everything has been ticked in terms of arrangement. Make sure there are no side chicks or on the corner, and no foul play. Listen, guys, in all sincerity, I am telling you the truth. Some of you go to Nigeria to marry a man who has already been married. Now, here's the thing: you may get married to a man who has already been married, but you would not find foul play of bigamy because most Nigerians they marry traditionally. Now, the moment you've visited Nigeria and you've confirmed with the arrangement, everything is set, you've discovered that okay, there's no smell of a side chick or some existing family or wife someplace. The next thing you want to do is to please try to make a traditional wedding. Left for me, and based on my opinion, I would advise every lady who is going to marry in Nigeria to make a traditional wedding. This is something I try to advise some of you ladies who are planning on getting married in Nigeria to a Nigerian man. Please, I always advise you make a traditional wedding. Now, the reason you should do a traditional wedding is because it helps you eliminate doubts. Traditional wedding basically exposes all. During the traditional wedding, you get to see who is who. Traditional wedding would make you see everything you need to see. Apart from seeing and understanding his culture, traditional wedding would bring his kingsmen and family, friends, including well wishers, you know, close to you. Traditional wedding, I always say to people or to ladies, make sure you do it. Traditional wedding for me is the first kind of marriage you should do. Some of you, you know, may say, "Oh, it's expensive," or some of you, when you say that to the Nigerian guy you date, and you're like, "Oh, it's expensive." Not true, not true, not true. Most Nigerians they do traditional wedding on a very low budget. They do it and they get it done, and they are married. Now, all you have to do is decide you want to do a traditional wedding, and then save up. Both of you save up. Save up some money and plan a normal traditional wedding where people from his family and friends, would actually, visit. Now, this gives you some kind of security, especially when you're married. If there is a situation of you marrying a man who has been married before, because if he has been married before, he would have done the traditional wedding. If there's a situation whereby you're dating a man who has put another lady in a family way, if there's a situation of you dating a man who is engaged another lady, marrying him traditionally would expose a lot of things. Or if peradventure the man tomorrow decides to run back after you guys have been married, decides to run back to Nigeria to get a spouse, his kinsmen would ask about you. They would ask, okay, what about this lady you brought all the way, that came all the way from this country to marry you? What about her? Why are you coming to make another traditional wedding to another lady when there's also another lady you've brought here? What happened to that marriage? The kinsmen would ask about you. Traditional marriage, when the man is living in Nigeria, eliminates every doubt. It helps you to know that the road and the coast is clear. And that is why I always tell you ladies to please ensure you do traditional wedding. Trust me when I tell you, traditional wedding is open. There is no way he's going to make a traditional wedding and his kinsmen, his friends, people from his village, his uncles, aunties, and every, Tom, Dick, and Harry wouldn't come. So you should try as much as possible to, do this, so that it eliminates every doubt you have. If maybe he has been married secretly before, or maybe he has a somebody who is planning on getting married, or he has a lady who's got a child for him, this would open a lot for you. Trust me when I tell you this. Now, after the traditional wedding, the next thing you want to do is the courthouse wedding. This can be done immediately or at when will. It's all up to you, to decide when you want to do the court wedding. Now, the major reason why most people go for the courthouse wedding, aside from the fact that it is cheaper and faster and convenient, is that it allows you, to file a visa application when you return back in your home country to bring your partner, because the court paper, the court marriage, you need the documents, to show that you have been married. Otherwise, you may not be able to uh, bring your partner into your home country, because in Nigeria, the truth is most Nigerians, they rather want to do this traditional wedding and then later they do the court wedding. Most Nigerians who don't have enough resources, to get married, what they do basically is that they just take their kinsmen, they go to the kinsmen of the lady they want to get married to, they pay her bride price, and they are married. They are totally married. So that is why I always say to you, ladies, try save up a little money and make sure you make some kind of traditional wedding. Don't sneak in and sneak out like a ninja, to come marry a Nigerian all alone. In Nigeria, nobody marries alone. In Nigeria, nobody marries alone. Nobody marries alone in Nigeria. So if you are coming to do a courthouse wedding in Nigeria and then you have just one person, two-person, three-person in Nigeria, you just have the man you want to get married to, and then you have two of his friends and what have you. It's not ideally. People do that within Nigeria. Nigerians do this. But of course, sometimes when they do this, most of them go back to have a kind of a small celebration. They could have a celebration in church, they could have a small reception and what have you. But I'm talking about Western ladies who sneak in like ninjas. They come in the night, and the next morning they're married, and the next night, they're back to their country. It's more or less like you're coming to negotiate with the devil and all of that. So the truth is, and I like to say this, never make the mistake of accepting a quick proposal. A proposal they give you on phone, never make a mistake of accepting it, because I can guarantee you that 90% of the time it is not real. 90% of the time and is not real. And also, some of you, when you accept this proposal and you come into Nigeria just to visit this individual, you find yourself being forced, or coerced into getting married. A lady was telling me the other day, when she visited her Nigerian boyfriend, the next thing, the Nigerian boyfriend took her to the registry or courthouse to see if they could get married. And some women do that. It's all scam. It's all scam. So don't accept any man who just puts the ring in your hand just after seeing him for the very first time. He doesn't know you, you're yet to know him. Listen, speaking to someone on phone, chatting with a person on phone is totally different from actually knowing this person physically. Everybody could put up their best behavior online. It is a different ball game when you meet an individual face to face and you decide if you want to live with this individual, for the rest of your life. Now, guys, in conclusion, I've always said it, getting married is a very beautiful thing and it's something most people, not all, want to do. As for Nigerians, every Nigerian want to get married. But again, I always believe you should never rush or be in a haste to get married because I often ask, some of you, how come your Nigerian boyfriend, could propose to you online for the first time or when you're meeting him for the first time, but this same Nigerian boyfriend who has lived in Nigeria and has dated other Nigerian women has yet to propose to any Nigerian woman. So what makes you special? You know the answer. What makes you special is your money and the visa is gonna get from you. So please, ladies, I would always urge you, stop this, ninja marriage where you just sneak in like a thief in the night, get wedded in the morning, and then you sneak out like a thief in the night. Stop this kind of wedding. It's not something we support. It's all shades of scam. If you want to get married to a Nigerian guy, please marry responsibly. Do it the Nigerian way. So as you're planning to visit Nigeria this summer, please enjoy all the awesomeness Nigeria has to offer. And if you are meeting your guy for the first time, please do not be in a hurry to accept any ring because now wahala you defined. With all these guys, I would like to say thank you so much and I wish you guys a lovely, lovely, lovely start to the week. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to comment respectfully. And if you want to contact me, you can write me on hometruth86@gmail.com. I repeat, hometruth86@gmail.com. You can see it on the very, very first slide on the video. Have a lovely, lovely good start to the week. Home Truth Nigeria, peace out.